The subject for the day is obedient to the faith. But I want you to think about a call to be obedient. A call to be obedient, to live for God, and to trust Him. Trust Him and obey Him. There's no other way. If we're going to be happy in Jesus, or if we're going to be blessed in Jesus, we have to trust Him and we have to obey Him. We can't say that we have faith in God and not have a work for God. Now, sometimes it could be a bit confusing when we hear working and we hear faith, and some would say, well, the Bible says that all we have to do is believe. But where does the work come in? The trusting is a great factor. And when we work, it's because we have faith. It's because we do believe. It is a result of our what? Of our faith. And so the call is for you and I to be obedient to the faith. The book of Romans is a place, or it's in a place in the Bible where it is first among the letters of Paul, because it is considered to be an important book. Not only is it his longest letter, it contains the longest greeting. Paul's letter was to be received by a church which was situated in the greatest city and the greatest empire in the world during that time. He was writing to a church who did not know him personally. Thus, in his initial address in the letter, he seeks to establish as to who he is and to what he is about. And we as a church can learn something from the great apostle Paul as to who we are in this world. We are the church. And if we are of Christ, then we ought to not be ashamed of the gospel, and that we ought to let the world know who we are. We don't need a title other than the fact that we're Christians. And even before we open up our mouth, before they see us reading the Bible, before they see our cross that we carry, before they see us going to church, they should know that there's something different about us. And so the letter's recipients affirm who he is if they are those whom he addressed as those who are called by Jesus Christ. The beloved of God, those who are called saints, ought to know. In other words, even in the church folk ought to know church folk. And so the world ought to know that there is a difference when you say that you have Christ in your life. And so when we think about this call to live for God, or this call to be obedient to the faith, it is an honor. It is a privilege, because all of us in this place were lost. But thank God for his amazing grace. And if it had not been for his grace, if it had not been for his mercies, not one of us would be here. And so the purpose for which Paul was appointed was to lead people to the obedience that comes by faith. This same faith that caused the Apostle Paul to be saved is the same faith that he is called to preach, or the same message that he's called to preach to those who do not believe. But how can we, even as Christians, how can we respond to this call in a genuine way if we are not living a life that God has called us to lead?